Hello, friends, dear friends. Not all of you know me, some of you do, but I would like to introduce myself. I suppose I could call myself a slider, among other things, an intuitive, an artist, a writer, a stone carver. I guess I should explain what a slider is. Some of you know, but a slider stands for street light interruption disorder, a person who can create such a phenomena. And that means that when someone walks under a street light, but it can also be other electronics, they can actually make the street light either turn on or off, usually accidentally, not at will. And that has happened perhaps a few times with me, but it doesn't happen frequently. The primary thing that has happened with me, as far as a slider, is I've accidentally made headlights of cars turn on, parked cars with nobody around, and the horn simultaneously honks. I don't know how to explain that. I can't make that happen even otherwise behind the wheel. It just is an electronic reaction from my energy field. But that's not the main point of what I want to accomplish. In this video, I want to give a talk about a lesson on emotions and behaviors, stuff or lessons that I've learned recently in my life through experience. And the first point is I went through a number of months this year already, specifically after the shutdown, the worldwide COVID-19 shutdown, where because of the shutdown, my work was affected and I got displaced to other parts of the store I was working at. And then I started to hate where I was, and I didn't know what I was doing all the time or what the purpose was. And I was starting to hate where I was at, and I knew that it's not what I wanted to be doing in life, what my soul wanted to be doing, and what my purpose was. Um, So then I went through sort of a darker period of not being confident with who I am and not um, just not liking what I was doing and didn't know what to do with myself. So one thing I had actually, or one sort of lesson I had been catching on to for some time now, actually maybe a year or year and a half, was that probably longer than that, but something I hadn't fully embodied was that judgments and lower emotions and thoughts, especially thought patterns, tend to create what I've learned to be a negative charge, energy charge, within a person's body and energy capsule. And that can also apply to positive thoughts and positive behaviors and thought patterns and behavior patterns. Um, there are layers to this. The self preconceptions, um, conditioning, thoughts, and then behaviors outside of that. Um, all of it gets conditioned throughout your life, and those are layers to work through. But with the negative emotional and thought patterns, thought behaviors, and how that was subtly manifesting in what I was doing day to day, um, that was creating a negative charge. And also, even with the yoga and brain healing work that I was doing, energy healing work that I was doing for so long, so many months, even before the shutdown, I was making good progress before the shutdown, but um, even when I would do that, I would kind of be defeated because Um, I would go to a class and feel really good after, and then go to work and get exhausted and um, create a negative charge, basically. Eventually, I would recover. It would be like a daily cycle of that. Um, so, yeah, your negative and positive thoughts and behaviors create charges, and that creates your health conditions, affects your health conditions. It actually makes them worse, even if you're doing inner healing work and then going back to doing something in the world that you hate, that really makes you uncomfortable, then that creates an even bigger negative charge than if you weren't doing healing work simultaneously, because you're not following your passion and your joy. So, something to think about and really a lesson to learn over time. Now, it was a couple of years ago, almost 2 years ago, when I started writing something called the Knowledge Book. I wasn't able to finish it, but someday I hope to. And it's basically the Constitution book of the universe, and it's a spiritual evolution book. But while I was in that program, one morning I woke up and I heard a voice that was not only mental in my mind, but it was as if I could hear it physically, auditorially, very clearly, very loudly, and very direct. And there was no sound, or there was no light, there was no images, just a voice and a message, clear message. And the voice told me, if you want your body to change, the universe requires behavioral changes. And the message is as clear as that. Behaviors affect health and your body. And so this lesson has really taken me a long time to fully grasp or even listen to and try to apply to my life consistently. But it wasn't until more recently, after the shutdown, in recent weeks and months, after I'd gone through this low period of not being confident with myself, not knowing what to do with myself, and not knowing where my life was headed, and everything was up in the air, that I really took a look at who I am, what I was doing, and what I was thinking, and um, asked myself some questions. Who am I? What do I want? Am I who I want to be? Am I acting like myself, my soul? And of course, there's lots of ways you can answer those questions. I think everyone should be asking themselves those questions. That's important for self maintenance and management. And so it was after I really got to this point where that I realized that I'm not behaving how I want to be, who I want to be, and the behaviors and negative thought patterns I was repeating frequently and every day almost really was having a toll, taking a toll on me. So I decided to change this. I decided to uplift myself some more from this condition. The way I started to do this was basically with some very simple but effective um, practices and healing tips that I learned from body and brain yoga and other places even before I started that a year ago. And that is getting in touch with yourself, bringing your mental awareness into your body, into your chest, even into your sacral center, lower centers where Chinese call it Dantian, Korean Danjan. There are many names for it in America and a lot of the Western spiritual systems and Western spirituality. It's called the Sacral Center, and right below your gut, a few inches below your belly button, and inward a few inches. When you bring your mind there, that is a warm place, or it should be after you warm it up. Also, in your heart, in your chest, that's where your soul is rooted in your body. Bring your awareness there. You may be uncomfortable, it may be more comfortable. You may feel pains, things to heal, but just bring your awareness back to yourself, especially if you're a working person who's having to work with other people and your mind is going in all directions around you but not within you. You don't need to give yourself to all of the customers that you deal with if you are on that line of work currently. What's important is to just come back to who you are. Be happy for yourself. Be happy. Smile, gentle smile. And this is another valuable and practical healing tool. Vocalizing what you say to yourself and what you say to others and how you speak to yourself. Just say, I love myself. I love who I am. Breathe. Breathe in and out. Even if you're wearing a face mask, you can say that quietly to yourself. I love myself. Just be happy with who you are. You don't need to be happy for other people or judge other people or do things or give your energy away to other people. Just maintain yourself before you destroy yourself, basically. You are your own worst enemy and your own best friend. That's the lesson in this. That's one of the lessons I've learned recently. I think it's very valuable. Something to remember. And remember that remembering is remembering, becoming a part of something again, becoming whole again. Trust yourself, trust your inner voices. Smile, be happy for yourself, and love who you are. Know that things will change, adapt to change, and trust your inner voices. Thank you. Until next time, be well.